last time since our last lesson together?
Uh, Last time we talked about some jokes just yesterday, the same
Mm-hmm.
today. So
Yes.
I read something, and you told me how to pronounce it, and
Yes.
told me several jokes.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yeah, such as these things.
Yes. Oh, that's good. Excellent. So, let's have a look. Oh yes, did you have the opportunity to see some of the different videos and films that I mentioned last time as being typical of British humor, English humor, like Monty Python, John Cleese? Did you have the
Yeah,
opportunity of seeing those different films and videos,
yeah.
Jasmina?
And share how this opportunity. I mean,
Ah,
I can have it on YouTube.
uh-huh.
Uh, yeah, so it's okay. I just yesterday I did a lot of things, so maybe
It's
I
okay.
didn't watch these books, but it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I watch it. I will read it. You
Yes,
too.
of course. It'll be something you'll be able to do whenever you have the time and the opportunity to do that. So that's great. So let me have a look. Which jokes were we saying? Were we talking about? Oh, yes, we were talking about different types of jokes, different categories. And so we started off with animal jokes. So I'll have a look which category there is for this time. Would you like to start with the first joke today, or would you like me to start with the first joke? What do you prefer, Jasmina?
Uh, well, maybe this time I prefer I'm first,
Ye-
cause
Uh-huh.
it's really interesting one.
Okay.
Here, uh,
Let's have a look. So England doesn't have a kidney bank, but it does have a Liverpool. Oh, excellent. That's a funny one. Yes, not a bank of kidneys, but a pool of livers. Amazing. Like referring to the kidney donors and the liver donors. And that's a nice play on words. Obviously, there's a city of Liverpool, but there
yeah.
isn't a city called Kidney Bank City. Liverpool City, yes, but not Kidney Bank City. So that's a very good one.
I remember the accent of Liverpool is really, how to say it?
Oh,
Uh,
yes. It's very special.
yeah, very spicy.
Yes, very
Mm.
special indeed. It's called the Liverpudlian accent, the accent of Liverpool. Yes, that's right. It's quite difficult to understand the accents of those who are in the north uh, of the UK. They have a very strong accent. Usually in the south, there's not so much of an accent, but in the north, the people tend to have a very strong accent. So, yes, absolutely. Uh, that's true that the Liverpudlian accent is quite difficult to understand. Actually, did I tell you about what happened to me when I went to Newcastle
No,
uh, upon Tyne in the north of England? No. Well, actually, talking about accents, that'll be interesting for me to tell you this. I was looking for the docks, the harbour, the port of Newcastle upon Tyne, and so when I arrived in the city and I um, went out of the train and the train station, I asked a person who was walking by, which direction I needed to go to the harbor, to the port, to the docks. And the person started saying something which I couldn't understand at all. So I said to them, "Oh, no, that's okay. No, that's fine. All right. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye." And I thought to myself, wow. I mean, I would have to, ask a tourist, you know, the way to somewhere. And obviously, I can't understand a word of what this tourist is saying. I mean, it was the summer, so I thought to myself, okay, well, next time I'll try and ask somebody who doesn't look like a tourist. Okay. So I saw somebody else who didn't look like a tourist at all. And then I asked them again the direction to the port, to the harbor. And once again, they started speaking to me in a very strange language. I couldn't understand at all. I couldn't even identify, you know, what kind of language it was, because usually when I hear a language, you can hear from the sound more or less what kind of language it is, at least which continent it comes from. But here, I couldn't, I had no idea. I've never heard uh, this before, what the person was saying. So I said once again, "Oh, okay, thank you very much. Yes, okay, very good. Yes, bye-bye. Thank you. Have a nice day." And then I went to find somebody else. I thought to myself, but this person, the second person, looked like a local inhabitant. So I thought to myself, if I find somebody who's like walking a dog, okay, or pulling one of these little, shopping trolleys, you know, like you have when the people are going shopping locally. I thought to myself, this has to be a local person. So I can't remember if I found a person walking a dog or pulling a supermarket trolley or whatever. I mean, a shopping trolley. And I asked them again, uh, which direction do I need to go to the docks, the harbor, the port? And once again, this person started speaking to me in this strange language. And I said, I mean, I was almost speaking to myself, saying, aren't there any English people in this place? And the person said, "Well, I'm English." I said, "You're English? Well, why don't you speak English then?" "What are you speaking? What language are you speaking?" And the person said, "I'm speaking English." But this time the person, I could understand them because they changed the way they were speaking, you see. And they started speaking normal English. And I said, "Well, why didn't you speak English in the first place?" And the person says, "Well, that's just the way we speak." I said, "What? But that isn't English." And the person said, "Yes, it is English." Well, I said, "I've never heard English like that before, and I can't understand a word of what you say when you speak your strange kind of English." And they say, "Oh, that's the Geordie accent." "The what?" I said. "The Geordie accent," they told me. "I've never heard of that." And then they said, "Yes, this is the accent of the people who live in the South Shields area of Newcastle upon Tyne." So I must have been in the South Shields area. Uh, so I said, "Oh, really? Wow. And that is English?" "Yes, of course. It's just the Geordie accent." I said, "Wow, that is amazing." And so that's how I discovered that in the north of England, in a place called Newcastle, that's the northeast part of England, okay, on the northeast coast, they
So
have a language. I mean, it's English, but they have an accent which is just not understandable at all. It doesn't even sound like English. But it isn't a dialect, you see. It isn't like another language like Gaelic, which uses totally different words. This was actually English words, but every single word was pronounced in a different way. So because it was pronounced differently, it didn't sound like English. It just sounded like something totally different. You see what I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I see.
Jasmina? Yeah.
So finally, did you find the
I
place you
did
go?
finally find the port, the dock where the ships were, because I had to go on the tall ships race on the Sir Winston Churchill schooner for 3 weeks. And I go from Newcastle upon Tyne to Kristiansand in Norway, and then from there to sail to Frederikshavn in Denmark, the start of the tall ships race. It was a 1980 tall ships race. And from there, race to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and then back to Harwich with in the UK, in England. So that was a 3 week trip, and so I did actually find the place, but it was just so amazing having, these people speak to me with a Geordie accent, which I just couldn't understand what they were saying. Absolutely amazing. And I think it's even worse than the Liverpool accent, which is called Liverpudlian. This Geordie accent, oh, I think it has to be the worst accent in the whole of the UK.
Well, I wanna ask, is there any accent in Bristol?
I've never heard of an accent in Bristol, and because it's the south of England, and in the south they don't tend to have so much of an accent, so it's reasonably understandable. Uh, I mean, as you're living in Bristol, I mean, I've never been to Bristol, but as you're living in Bristol, uh, have you had difficulty understanding the way people speak, Jasmina?
No, but I just wanna ask whether they have any accent. Actually, I will ask a person from London,
Yes.
and then they tell me there's a little different from London English and Bristol English.
Hmm.
Um, the accent is a little bit strong, so I
Yes.
just wonder whether there's.
Yes, of course. I'm sure there are some local accents, regional accents, which are slightly different from one place to another. But, you know, it's still understandable. You can still understand what the person's saying. I mean, in London, they have something a bit special called Cockney rhyming slang. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Is that kind of fruit?
Well, they do talk about fruit in the Cockney rhyming slang. For example, if I was to say I'm going apples and pears, now you see, those are kinds of fruit, the apples and the pears. But if I was to tell you that I'm going apples and pears, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know what that
No.
means with a Cockney rhyming slang? Right. Well, you see, most people don't know either because this is like a coded language, you see. So they actually say words that rhyme with the words they actually mean to say. So, for example, uh, apples and pears rhymes with stairs. So when they say they're going apples and pears, it means they're going up the stairs. If a person says, I'm going to go apples and pears, it means I'm going to go up the stairs. Yes. You see, it's a coded language, but amongst themselves, they can understand each other because they know the different expressions. And so they'll immediately understand what the other person is saying. But if you're not from the Hackney area of London, which is where the Geordies, I mean not Geordies, where the Cockneys live, who speak the Cockney rhyming slang, then obviously you're not used to this, and you won't understand a word of what they're saying because it's like completely coded language. So just so you can understand this better, I'm sending you a link to the ultimate guide to Cockney rhyming slang. Basically, as this is the ultimate guide, once you read this, normally you should become an expert in Cockney rhyming slang, and you'll understand what they're saying if ever you go to London, especially the Hackney part of London where the Cockneys live. You'll understand what they're saying, you see. So have a look at this article, and if you like, to give you a bit of practice reading so I can correct your pronunciation, Jasmino, you can actually read this article if you like out loud, and I'll just correct any mistakes you make. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's right. I'm open.
Okay, so I'm listening to you. Read, Jasmina. That's great.
Okay, I'm waiting for it opening.
I'm not sure if it can open. If you're having difficulty opening it, because I know that in some countries there's censorship which prevents you from being able to open certain links and going on certain websites. Do you have access to it or not? Otherwise, I'll just do a copy paste in the Skype chat.
No, it's okay. I have a VPN.
Oh, you have a VPN.
Yeah. And, I just need to waiting, but it seems like it needs a second time.
Well, if you like, I can just do a copy paste. I mean, you can always do the VPN. I mean, activate it any time, you know, that you wanted to see the document in its original form. But, you know, even a copy paste is good because it gives you all the text, because it's mainly text. So that's what's most important, of course.
I already.
Oh, you've already opened it?
Yeah.
Yes? Oh, so yeah. I don't need to do a copy paste. I was just about to send it to you, but that's good. Can you see the picture at the beginning of this link? Can you see what's happened to the person?
I just see the news and options, sport, culture, lifestyle, more.
Okay, here. It's underneath all of that. If you look underneath all of that.
Yeah. The ultimate guide to Cockney.
That's right, Cockney rhyming slang. Had you ever heard of Cockney rhyming slang before, or is this the first time, Jasmina?
The first time.
The first time. This is brand new for you, so you're discovering something brand new. Oh, I'm very happy for you, Jasmina. That's wonderful. I like when my students learn some new things. That's great. Okay, excellent. So I'm listening to you read then.
From iPods and peers
yes.
to weep and wail and
to weep and wail. Do you know what that means? To weep and wail. Well, if somebody is very sad, they're going to cry. And if they cry a lot, then they're going to weep, because they're crying so much that when it's very strong crying with lots of tears, okay, flowing down the cheeks, then you would call that weeping, okay? Like when somebody's died in the family, or they've lost somebody who's very close, you see, they would really weep. And wail is like moaning and groaning and going, ah, ah. That would be wailing, you see. I don't know what you think of my wail. Does it sound good at all? Does it sound all right? I mean,
okay, it's okay. It's really.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. I try to make it sound, you know, authentic and you know, realistic. A nice realistic wail. Okay. So now you know what weeping and wailing is. Okay, I'll let you continue then, Jasmina.
Mhm. From apples and pears to weep and wail,
Yes.
and an A to Z of
No,
Cockney.
no, 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 no. Well, you would say an A to Z because in British English we say Z, even
Yes.
though in uh, um, if it's uh, American English, they would say Z, you see. So,
Oh,
yes, the Americans would say Z, and the British would say Z. So it's like zebras in British English and zebras in American English. You hear the difference between the two, between
yes.
zebras in American English and zebras in British English. Did you know that difference between the two?
Zip and zip. No, no, no.
You,
I'm
you,
sorry.
you'd never heard of that before, between
Mm.
zebras and zebras. No.
Mm.
Okay. So uh, now, if you were saying A to Z, you would, that's how you would say it. You would say A to Z. Okay, which
Mm.
means basically everything from the beginning to the end, like from the letter A right through the alphabet to the very last letter Z. Okay?
Yeah.
That's good.
From apples and pears to weep and wail, an
Mm.
A to Z of Cockney rhyming slang, and the
A
meaning
Cockney rhyming slang.
land.
That's right.
And,
Slang. Mhm.
an A to Z of Cockney rhyming slang.
The
Of,
rest, rhyming slang. That's right. You know what rhyming means? A
yeah,
rhyme.
like,
Yes. Oh, that's rhythm.
oh,
That's
I'm
rhythm.
sorry.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the rhythm. Tack, 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 tack. No, rhyming is like something like a poem. Let's think. Um, uh,
Is that means like,
Okay, Betty bought a bit of butter, but she found the butter bitter. So she bought another bit of butter to make the bitter butter better.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you see, it's all rhyming. It sounds very, very similar, you see. Um, so like, bar, bar, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, yes, sir. 3 bags full. So you see, wool and full rhymes together. One for the master, and one for the dame, and
Mhm.
one for the little boy that lives down the lane. You see, dame, lane, it sounds similar. So it rhymes. It's usually the last word of each line in a poem rhymes with the last word of the following line in the poem. Do you see what I mean, Jasmina?
Mm,
Are you
not
familiar? Are you familiar with poems? Do you know what a poem is? What is a
no.
poem? You don't know what a poem is. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. This is interesting. Okay. Let me explain to you what a poem is. It's a form of literature. Have you heard of a theatre play? When you go to the theatre, you see a play.
Yeah.
You've heard of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Uh, so, that is a play. Like, to be or not to be, that is the question.
Yeah.
You see,
I
that's
can.
William Shakespeare. That's theatre plays. Okay. So, a play is a form of literature. A poem is a form of literature. An essay or a short story or a novel, all of these are forms of literature. Okay. Now, uh, for the word poem, I'm going to try and find some nice poems that would be nice. Um, so if I was to choose examples of poems, that would be the best thing. Oh no, we have poem examples here. Poem examples. Where was it? There we go. Poem examples. And I'm just looking for, here we are, examples of poems. Oh, yes, these are good ones. Oh, I like these ones. Yes. I found some of my favorite poems here. Oh, yes, very good. I think you'll like this. So, let's have a look. Here we are. Um, oh, yes, this is wonderful. Oh, they tell you about all the different types of poem. This is very complete. Right. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Right. Let me send you this um, document, okay, or link, and we have a good definition here. Well, several definitions of the different types of poem and examples, and you will become an expert in poetry because writing poems is part of the art form called poetry. Can you click on that link, please, Jasmino, and open that up for me? All about poems.
I'm
Actually,
already
you're already
open.
on it. Just if you could read that for me. I'm sorry I've interrupted your reading about Cockney rhyming slang, but it's important that you know what a poem is. Uh, so
Know
if you
what
could,
it is.
sorry, what is?
I know it is.
Oh, you know what a poem is.
I just don't know the word. I just
Oh, it's just the word you didn't know. Ah,
when I hear the word, I don't know it, but
ah,
when I read it, I know what it is. I can
right.
understand.
So,
Just
so you have poems in Chinese, in the Chinese language. You have poems as well. That's wonderful. So the different types of poems are the haikus, the free verses, the epic poems, the ballads, the sonnets, like Shakespeare. Oh, Shakespeare wrote a very famous sonnet. Uh, it starts off, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more fair and more temperate. The April winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date." So, uh, the last two lines are very famous indeed because the last two lines, okay, have a special rhythm and meter and rhyme, and it's really a work of art the way that it's written. These are the last two lines of that poem. As long as men have ears to hear and eyes to see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So, as long as men have ears to hear and eyes to see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. You see, it's very symmetrical. It's very well organized, and it is well balanced. The same amount of syllables and the meter, because you go up and down and up and down, da 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 da. It's almost like a song. You see, it's very rhythmic. Okay, so that is the sonnet. There's the elegy. There's the epitaph. That's after somebody's died on the gravestone. On the tomb they write an epitaph mentioning the person. A hymn, that's a poem of praise and worship and adoration to the splendor of God. Yes, that's a hymn. Like a God save our gracious Queen. But that's also a national anthem, the British national anthem. You have a limerick, which is a funny poem, and you have a villanelle. Oh, very interesting. Oh, Villanelle. That's a French style poem. Wow. And you see, they're very well organized. It's composed, it's with 19 lines. You see, it's very specific. 19 lines. It's composed of 3 line stanzas, the stanza being like the couplets, okay? And with 5 tercets and a final quatrain. Tercets would be 3, I think, and quatrain would be 4. So the final 4 lines are together. So it
Oh,
uses a refrain at the first and third lines of each stanza. So it's very well structured, you see, very well organized. You can see that, Jasmina. You see that?
I remember the
Yes.
Shakespeare, the Shakespeare,
Uh-huh.
how to say and whatever. Um,
Yes.
his 14 lines poem is very famous in China,
Oh,
and then
yes.
once upon a time I read it before. It's really
Hmm.
beautiful to say that.
Oh, it's a wonderful poem. Yes. You know, it's a sonnet, and, Shakespeare has absolutely wonderful poems and sonnets and plays, of course. He's well known, especially for his plays. So it's good that you know about this now, but in fact, you knew about it before, but with a different word in English. So the Chinese word is different from the English word, but now you know the English version. Well, that's good. You've learned a new word then, poem in English, so you know what it is. That's great.
Is
That
that belong to English literature?
it,
I mean,
it
when you were in,
belongs. Yes. Sorry.
okay.
No, so
I'm
sorry. You're asking me if it belongs to English literature. Is that right?
yeah.
Yes. Poems belong to English literature. Poetry is a part of literature, just like a play, a novel. Uh, all of these things are part of English literature. Yes, absolutely.
English. I have several friends, and they were in high school in England,
Uh-huh.
and then, like we're gonna be classmates, and they told me when they were in high school in A level
Yes.
ties or IG, IB ties, so whichever,
Mm-hmm.
which one anyway, they will ties English literature, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is it about, but it seemed
Yes.
like about Shakespeare or something else,
Uh-huh.
or Shelley.
Oh, Shelley. Oh, very good. You know about Shelley as well.
Oh, it's really similar. I mean, the
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Chinese name to how to, the Chinese version to how to say his name and the English version. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's wonderful that you know all these things. So that's really good. That's absolutely wonderful. And
It's just yeah. I'm
yes, that's really good. I was looking at one of these poems. It's an epic poem, which means it's a very long poem. If you hear the word epic, it usually means something very important, you see, and something quite long, actually, in this case. So an epic poem is a very long poem. And I also like the poem by Rudyard Kipling. He's the one who wrote The Jungle Book. Have you heard
I
of The Jungle Book with Walt Disney?
maybe I would know the Chinese version. I need to translate.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely. It's with characters like the little boy called Mowgli,
I
and
know
then
that
there's a bear called Baloo. Uh,
one.
there's a lion, or is it a panther? No, it's a black panther called Bagheera. The tiger is called Shere Khan, and the monkey I think is called King Louie.
I know that one.
You know that one. Ah, that's wonderful. Excellent. Well, that story of the Jungle Book was written by Rudyard Kipling, and he's written some wonderful poems, and I think his most famous poem is you. At the end, it says, "You will be, if you do all these things, you will be a man, my boy." You see what I mean? So uh, he's like telling this to his son, and he says that if his son does all of these things, then his son will become a man. You see? So that is one of his most famous poems. I'm trying to find it here because here I'm in a about it. Oh no, this is another one. Okay.
What's wrong? I remember that sentence is one sentence in this book story.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I would read the English version before when I was really, really young.
Yes. I'm going to try and find this because it is a very nice poem. Poem
Oh,
where it says, "Man, my boy." So you will be a man. You will be a man. That's right. So this is a wonderful poem. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, it's called If. That's right. Have you ever heard of the poem called If?
which word? I'm
IF.
sorry.
The letter IF.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
IF. If.
If, if, yeah, yeah, yeah. If,
You know that word.
yeah, 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 definitely.
And
If you didn't know something,
it's an
what?
absolutely brilliant poem. Um, oh, it's not my boy, it's my son. That's right. You will be a man, my son. So let me send you the link to this because this is really good. We're doing a bit of brainstorming here. We're doing lots of different things, not just English joke humor, but I think it can be useful for you, you see. So you learn more about English literature as well as the English joke humor. So I don't know if you can see the link I've sent you for the poem called If. Can you see that link I sent you in the Skype chat? Have a look.
Uh, there's maybe I need to waiting.
Or
I
I
need
can
to
do a
read.
copy. I can do a copy paste if you like. Can you open up the link or not?
I didn't receive the link.
You didn't receive it. Okay. So the best if I do a copy paste in the Skype chat, maybe that'll go through. And tell me if you've received what I've just sent you now in the Skype chat. Can you see that? The link I sent you?
Uh, no.
No, I think it's best if I send it to you um, maybe in the how do you call it? The iTalki message section. I'll try and send it to you in the iTalki message section.
Oh,
Uh,
I did. Maybe, yeah. I will check it on the phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if I send it to you in the iTalki message section, then you should have it. Oh, there we are.
Oh,
Yeah, I found it. I've
okay.
just sent it to you. Can you see it in the iTalki message section,
Yeah, yeah,
Jasmine?
yeah,
Yes?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So it'll be interesting if you read this as well. So there's lots of things for you to read now. But let's start off with this one because this is such a beautiful poem. I really like it, and I think you'll like it too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you read it then. Thank you, Jasmine.
If you can keep it high. Oh, do you want me read it?
Yes, if you can read it out loud. So if you make any mistakes in your pronunciation, I'll then correct those mistakes for you,
Well,
Jasmina.
here, you're so sweet. If
Hmm.
by writing, but and keeping
So
borders. Yeah.
So if you can keep your head,
Oh, okay. If you can keep your height, men about you are
yes,
losing theirs and
losing theirs,
blaming
yes,
each other.
and
If you can
blaming, yes,
blaming and blaming it on you.
that's
If you
right.
if you can trust yourself, when all men doubt you,
Doubt
doubt,
you,
doubt you.
yes, that's right.
If you trust yourself, when all men doubt you,
Yes.
but make allowance for their doubting too. But making
So,
but yeah,
but make allowance for their doubting too. Yes, that's right. Hmm.
but making allowance for their doubting too.
Yes.
If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or
Right.
lied about, don't deal in lies, or
Yes.
be hated, don't
Hmm.
give way to hating,
Right.
and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise.
Right.
If you can dream and
Hmm.
not make yourself master, if
Yes.
you if you can think and
Hmm.
not make thoughts your aim,
Aim.
aim.
Good.
If you can think and not make thoughts your aim,
Right.
and if you can meet with Trump,
With triumph.
triumph,
Do you know what triumph is, Jasmina?
no,
It's like
not like
victory. If you
which
triumph, that is, you're victorious. That means you've won. Uh, so it's the opposite of disaster. Triumph is like victory when you succeed. Disaster is when you fail, when you lose. You see what I mean?
yeah, it's like a feeling, isn't it?
Yes, yes, exactly. It's like a feeling, a feeling of triumph. Yes,
uh,
or a feeling of disaster. Hmm.
if you can meet with if you can meet with Trump
Hmm.
and this
Good.
and try those
And
two
treat.
and treat
Treat, yes, that's right.
and treat those two imposters just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you are
Bear,
spoken,
if you can bear,
if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken,
yes,
try by knives to
twisted,
make
twisted,
twisted,
yes, hmm,
so hard,
uh-huh,
twisted knives to make a trap for fools.
right,
Or watch the things you gave your life to,
yes,
broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools.
worn out tools, yes,
If you can make one heap or if you can make one heap of all your
yes,
winning,
winnings, yes,
if you can make one heap of all your winnings and
yes,
rest it under one turn and rest it on one turn of pitch and toss,
right. That's
and
a game, pitch and toss, where you're gambling, you see, uh, like you're throwing a coin, you're pitching it and tossing it in the air, and it's either heads or tails, depending if the coin, okay, the piece of money, is going to fall on one side or the other side. You see?
I see.
It's like
Well,
gambling, like in the casino, you know. Hmm. Okay,
and start again at your beginnings, and
right.
never breathe a word about your loss. If you can
Loss,
afford loss,
loss. Good.
sorry, loss.
That's it, man. Hmm.
And never breathe a word about your loss. And
Right.
if you can force your heart, if you
Heart,
heart,
heart, yes. Mhm.
If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew,
Sinew.
sinew. Yeah, I
That's
know it.
right. The sinew is like the tendons and the long, thin parts of your body inside your body. Um, it's a bit like veins, but it's more, in fact, like cartilages because it's not transporting blood like a vein, but it's like um, the long, thin parts of your body, like tendons, you see, or
Mm-hmm.
cartilages, which actually enable there to be um, a connection between your muscles and the bone and the flesh of the different parts of your body. So it's part of the structure of your body. It's what, in a way, holds all your body together because it's like long, thin threads, like long pieces of string, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, well done. Keep going. You're doing very well, Jasmina.
But I'm sorry, how to read that word again? Uh,
Sinew
sinew.
or
Ah,
sinew?
sinew.
That's right.
Sinew.
Well done. Very good. Congratulations.
If you can feel your heart and nerve and sinew,
Mm-hmm.
to so you turn long after they are gone.
Yes.
And so hold on when there's nothing on you, when there's nothing in you,
Right.
except the while which
The
says,
will, except the will.
except the view which says to them, hold on.
Right.
If you talk with the, if you if you can talk with crews and keep your words
Crowds.
close,
Yes.
close,
Crowds. Yes, that's good. Mm-hmm.
I have to say another word. Waiter, waiter.
Sorry, which word?
Keep you. Sorry,
Oh,
keep
keep
what?
your virtue. Yes.
Ah,
And keep
virtue,
your virtue. Yes.
virtue. If you
Mm-hmm.
can talk with crowds, and keep your virtue, or
Yes.
what things,
Yes.
not lose the common touch. If
Right.
if neither false nor loving friends can hurt you, if
Yes.
foul can't with you for knowing too much, if you
Yes.
can feel the unforgiving minute,
Yes.
with 2 seconds was of
Word.
was
Word. That's
what
right. Mm-hmm.
what
Yes.
with 60 seconds worth of distance run,
Yes.
using Earth and everything that's in it, and
Yes.
is more, you will be a man, my son.
That's it. You'll be a man, my son. Isn't that a wonderful poem? Do you like that
Yeah,
poem, Jasmina?
yeah, definitely. It's really, really nice. I will
Yeah.
read it after class,
Yeah,
but
yes.
it's
I, I,
really nice.
it's really nice. It's one of my favorite poems. I studied that at school in the English lesson. That was one of the poems that we were asked to study, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, one of my favorite poems. Okay, so if we come back to some of the other things we were looking at before, for example, the Cockney rhyming slang. And so we were talking about rhyming slang, but now you know what rhyming slang is. Slang is like a very popular, common way of speaking, which is uh, like very street level. You know, it's like the common people who talk in a very um, mm, it's almost vulgar way sometimes, but it's just like replacing ordinary words by other words. You see, that would be slang. So
Is,
now that, sorry, you're saying?
is there any example for slang?
For slang, for example, instead of um, saying the police, you could say the cops. Have you heard of the cops?
The police person,
So you
the
see,
public person.
the normally we talk about the police, okay,
Mhm.
but a more slang way of talking about the police, you would say the cops.
The cops, yeah.
Have you heard of the expression the cops?
Yeah. I thought
Like,
only Americans call them cops.
that's right. Well, police are often called cops, but cops isn't the official name, obviously. Um, the official name is the police. So cops would be the slang word for the police, you see?
Oh,
And you see what I mean?
yeah.
So that
So
yes,
you wanna say this word,
uh-huh,
please, and I
please.
say, as cops is for this word, and I didn't realize.
Ah, you didn't realize it was police instead of please. Ah. And
Yeah,
another slang word instead of thank you, some people can say tar. Have you ever heard of that word, tar?
no.
No? Well, sometimes, well, the English, quite often actually, not sometimes, but quite often, the native level English speakers, instead of saying thank you, if you've given them something, they will say, oh, tar. Oh, yes, tar. That's very nice of you. Tar. It's like saying thanks for that or thank you. They say tar. So tar is like slang. It means thank you. Tar.
Well, top.
Yeah. Tar. Tar. And
Oh,
if they say ta-ta, that's goodbye.
oh,
If it's
bye. Ta.
ta-ta, ta-ta. Yep.
Okay.
So if they say ta twice, it's like saying goodbye, like ta-ta, ta-ta.
Mm. Double.
All of this is slang, you see, because it's different from the ordinary words that we speak, the official words, you see. And these are just words that have, been invented by people and have been incorporated and integrated into the English language. They've just become part of the English language. So Cockney rhyming slang is the same kind of thing. There are these strange expressions which are rhyming because they have the same sound as the normal word that would be used in that situation. You see what I mean, Jasmina? Yeah.
Yeah. I know slang is,
Mm.
and when I take part in the IELTS test, do you know this one about English test? The
An
teacher
English type.
a test.
Tight. Ah, tight.
Sorry.
You
Um.
mean like when it's very tight?
Uh. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, test. Test.
Yeah.
You mean the test? Okay, I understand now. Test. That's good.
Yeah. Test. IELTS test. Yeah.
Test. Yes.
This. Oh.
Oh, the eyelids test. Yes, of course. I've heard of that. Absolutely.
In November, I've taken part in it, and there has a writing part.
Yes, it's like the IELTS test. Have you heard of the IELTS test?
I've taken part in it before.
I think it's very similar to the ISLTS, but I'm more familiar with the IELTS.
IELTS test.
Yes.
IELTS test. IELTS.
IELTS. So
I,
it it's the IELTS, which is the IELTS. Well, there's different ways of pronouncing it, but if I was to see what it stands for, um, the meaning of it is the International English Language Testing System. You see?
yeah, and
So
yeah.
if I send that to you as a copy paste in the Skype chats. Then you have the whole definition of it. Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, last time I took part in it, the teacher, just before the test, there will be a lot of teacher told you how to prepare this part, how to prepare that part,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like writing or something like reading. And
Written
then
or
I
writing.
read,
Yes.
anyway,
Mm-hmm.
writing time. And before the test, teacher
Yes.
will ask me whether to use more slangs or use a more local way to pronounce something, or
Yes.
a local way to express something. So
Yes.
that's why I know slang.
Slang. That's
Slang.
right. It's often a local way. That's right. Absolutely. A local way of expressing things. Often, yes, that is like an explanation or a definition of the meaning slang. That's right. A local way of expressing things, of describing things. Yes, absolutely. In local language. Yes, that's very good. Excellent. Very good, Jasmina. So, if you want to continue the reading then of this Cockney rhyming slang, what comes next?
Well, maybe I will tell you
Mm-hmm.
uh, a local story about China.
Oh, yes, tell
It
me a story about China. That'd be good.
it means um a little bird saw you, she fly away.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when a fish watching you, uh,
Yes.
she just sink into the water. When a
Yes.
flower saw you,
Uh-huh.
she just close their leaves and flower themselves, whatever. And
Uh-huh.
when the moon saw you, she just hide into the winds.
Yes.
Yeah, guess what is meaning?
Okay, could you just explain that once more to me so I understand it well, Jasmina?
Sorry.
Yes, could you just repeat that once more just so I
Oh,
understand it really well? Yes.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
When a bird saw you, she
A
fly
bird
away,
saw you. The bird
yeah,
flew away. Yes. Uh-huh.
flew away.
Yes.
When a fish saw you, she
Yes.
sank into the water,
Yes. So the fish saw you and went back in the water. Yes. Uh-huh.
back into the water. And
Right.
when a flower saw you, she
Yes.
opened her lips
Ah, the flower saw you and opened
and
her,
closed her lips.
closed her leaves around you. Yes.
And when a moon saw you, she
The moon.
hide
The
she
moon. The moon
yeah
saw you. Yes.
she hid it into the cloud.
Ah, she hid into the,
Cloud.
oh, into the clouds. Yes.
Oh, cloud.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. I understand now. Into the clouds.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
meaning.
That's the meaning. Right. Oh, that's really nice. Really interesting. Oh, that's wonderful. Very nice. Thank you for that, Jasmina. Very interesting. I like that. Well,
Uh,
that's good. Yes?
uh, if you meet some woman, you can tell her, this is for you. It means describe a person is really beautiful,
Yes.
and she's so beautiful that moons and birds and
Hmm.
fishes and flowers just hide
Hmm.
from her because
Wow.
she's shining, seems like a
Yes.
goddess. So that's the reason.
Wow. That is brilliant. That's amazing. Oh, I really like that. Thanks ever so much for that, Jasmina. That's really nice. So that's good because I've shared lots of different things, including the poem by Rudyard Kipling called If with you. And you were able to share then with me this wonderful little poem as well, or little story, which is really nice as well. So thank you very much for that, Jasmina. That's great.
Thanks
Really
so much.
nice. Thanks ever so
Yeah,
much. And I'm glad you enjoyed the lesson as much as I did. And so I look forward to our next lesson together again next time. Yes.
bye.
Thanks a lot. All the best. Take care. Keep well. Thanks. Cheers. Bye bye, Jasmina. Bye bye.